Very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Civics second year class. Today we will discuss displacement and its impact. So what is displacement and what are its impacts? See, the questions which we are dealing now, the SAQs, they are very rarely asked. Okay, sometimes in some papers you get some unexpected questions. So these are those unexpected questions. These can be asked sometimes. Okay. So let us see what is displacement. So what do you mean by displacement? What does the word displacement mean? Displacing means changing the place, right? Displace is changing the place of a thing, a commodity or anything, moving it from one place to another place. That is displacement. So here displacement is a major problem. Okay, a challenge to the government. So in the name of development, people are being displaced. They are forced. Okay, they are forced to vacate, leave their homes or homelands. A simple example I'll give you here is for widening of the roads. If you see, for the widening of the roads, many a times it happens that the houses, they are being, dismantled. So the people living in that house, they have to move to some other place, right? So that is displacement. The displacement is nothing but forcing people to vacate their homes and homelands for economic activity and development. In the name of development, see, road widening is also development. Okay. So in the name of development, when people are forced to leave their homes and homelands, that is called as displacement. That is called as displacement. So for construction of dams, industries, flyovers, okay, widening of the roads, when people are being shifted from one place to another, when people are forced to leave their homes and homelands, it is called as displacement. It is called as displacement. When people leave their homes and homelands in the name of development, for the sake of development, they are not doing it willingly. They are being forced. The government, in the name of development, force the people to leave their homes and homelands. What are the activities, development activities like construction of the dams, industries, flyovers, widening of the roads? Okay, all these leads to moving of people from one place to another. So that is called as displacement. So if you see the definition given by Shilpi Jain, okay, definition given by Shilpi Jain. Displacement forces people to vacate their homeland for economic development. Displacement is forcing people to leave. Vacate means leave their homeland for economic development. Okay, I hope I'm clear with this definition. Now let us see the effects of displacement. What are the effects? What happens? Okay, mostly industries are started in hill areas and forest areas. Okay, so if you see, when government want to set up new industries, they will try to set up in hilly areas and in forest areas, away from the city, away from the cities. So in these hill areas or in forest areas, you will find tribal people. You will find tribal people, tribes. Okay. And these tribes who live in these areas, they are largely affected. Their life get disturbed. Okay. They are moved from that place to some other place. For example, they are using forest area for the sake of development. So the tribes who are living in the forest areas, they are habituated to live in the forest areas. when they are asked to come and settle in, cities, they find it difficult. The city life will not be, comfortable for them. They may face many problems like health issues. The basic is health issues. Forest areas, they are habituated to the fresh air. When they come to cities, they have to, inhale the polluted air, which may cause health problems. Okay. And already these tribes, they are poor, and moving to the other place will make them more poor, because the standard of living is different. Okay, the standard of living is different there. So here they incur more expenditure. When they move to cities, they incur more expenditures. And mostly what happens, this tribal people, when they are moved, it is not their own land. They don't have titles or documents of the land. Okay, so the compensation which they get is also not very good compensation, you can say. Okay, see, when government is taking away the land for the sake of development, for construction of dams or building an industry, okay, when government is taking the land from the tribes that don't have, proper documents of that land. Okay, so what happens? The government will, not give them the proper compensation. They may not get a good value. Okay, the actual value of that land. They have to adjust or accept whatever is given to them by the government. The reason behind it is they don't have proper documents of that land. Okay, so these are the few effects of displacement. Then tribals are forced to live in new socio-economic conditions, which results in the economic and health problems for them. I told you, when tribals who are living in hilly areas or in forest areas, when they come to city, the city life, okay, where you have too much of pollution, it may cause health problems to them. And city life, it is expensive, so it will lead to economic problems for them. Okay, so globalization is also leading to displacement. Globalization is another, reason for displacement. Lakhs of people, they get displaced every year in the name of development. So many protest movements were organized. Okay, the social activists, they have organized many movements against this displacement, but it was of no use. So we don't know exactly, how many people they get displaced every year. There is no fixed number. We don't know the exact number of people getting displaced every year. So most of the people displaced are poor people. It is the poor people who are facing the displacement. Okay, so displacement, it takes place for the development of the country. No doubt. We are displacing the people in the name of development. But at the same time, these people, they are, affected socially. They cannot adjust to the city life. Economically, the standard of living will, reduce. So the government of India admitted that several lakhs of people were displaced during the construction of dams, mines, industries, power projects, etc. And it also promised to rehabilitate them. Okay, government, it accepts that many people, lakhs of people are getting displaced in the name of construction of dams, mines, industries, projects. At the same time, government is also promising to rehabilitate them, give them the best conditions to live. Provide them with the best conditions to live. Okay. So displacement is another issue. Okay, of the government, the problem for the government. Displacement is another major concern for the government. I hope displacement is clear to all of you. Now, let us move to the next question, that is State Legislative Assembly. So, what is State Legislative Assembly? State Legislative Assembly, it is the lower house of the state legislature. Like in Parliament, we have Lok Sabha. In state legislature, we will have State Legislative Assembly. Every state will have its own legislature, and it is Legislative Assembly. If this legislature of the state government is unicameral, then they will have only one house, that is assembly. If it is bicameral, it will have two houses, that is assembly and legislative council. So how are the members elected to the state legislature? The members of the state legislative assembly are directly elected by the people for the period of 5 years. Okay. The members of state legislative assembly, they are elected by the people of that particular state. Okay. For Lok Sabha, the people of the whole country are voting. But for the legislative assembly of a particular state, the people of that particular state will vote. And it is for the period of 5 years. Now, if you see the membership, it varies from 60 to 500. So the minimum strength of legislative assembly is 60 and the maximum is 500. That is the strength of legislative assembly. It can vary from 60 to 500, depending upon the population of that particular state, the area of that particular state. Okay. So some seats are reserved for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Okay, seats are reserved for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. And all the citizens who are above the age of 25 years are eligible to contest for the election of state assembly. Any citizen who is above the age of 25 years is eligible to contest for the state assembly. Okay, and every legislative assembly will have a speaker and deputy speaker who conducts the meetings of the assembly. Okay, in Lok Sabha also we have speaker and deputy speaker, right? So what is their duty? Their duty is to conduct the meetings of the Lok Sabha. Here, the speaker and deputy speaker, they will conduct the meetings of the assembly. And the speaker and deputy speaker, they are elected by the members of the assembly only. Okay. After elections, after the members are elected for the assembly, the elected members among themselves will elect a speaker and a deputy speaker. Okay. So now, next is, now they will decide the meetings of the assembly. So, to conduct the meetings, quorum is required. To conduct any meeting, quorum is required. So, what is quorum? If this is new term, new word for all of you, quorum. Okay. Quorum means the minimum number of members required to conduct a meeting. minimum number of members required to conduct a meeting is known as quorum. Okay, minimum number of members required to conduct the meeting is known as quorum. So, the quorum of State Legislative Assembly is fixed as 1/10. The quorum is fixed as 1/10 of the total membership. Okay, similarly, the quorum for Lok Sabha is also 1/10. Okay, usually it is the speaker who decides the quorum, but it is fixed as 1/10 of the total membership. For example, if the strength of the assembly is 60, minimum we said 60, right? If the strength of the assembly is 60, then the quorum will be 1/10 of it. That is, 6 members should be present to conduct the meeting. If the quorum is 500, if the strength is 500, okay, if the strength is 500, then the quorum 1/10 is 50. 1/10 of 500 is 50. So 50 members should be present to conduct a meeting of the house. It is completely on the basis of the strength, the membership of the house. Okay, if the members are, suppose, 120, then 1/10 of 120 will be 12 members. It depends on the strength of the house. So it is fixed as 1/10 of the total membership. So what is quorum? Remember this word, quorum. Okay, quorum. Quorum means the minimum number of members required to conduct the meeting. Okay, that is called as quorum. So the quorum of the Legislative Assembly, it is 1/10 of the total strength. Then next, what are the powers of Legislative Assembly? What are the powers of Legislative Assembly? The Legislative Assembly, it makes laws on the subjects included in the state list. We have discussed this, right? When we discussed your 5th chapter, Union State Relations, I told you the state legislature will make on the laws on the subjects which are included in the state list. Okay. Then we know that legislature, it controls executive. Okay, it controls executive. How it is controlling the executive? By asking questions and passing resolution. So here the legislature is assembly. Okay, and the executives are chief minister and his ministers. They are the executives. Okay, so chief minister and his ministers, they are controlled by the legislature. How? By asking questions on their policies and programs, on the decisions taken by the executives, and if they are not satisfied, they'll pass resolutions. So legislature, it is controlling the executive. Then its approval is necessary to spend money by the government. So what is this? Why government will spend the money? It will spend the money for the welfare of the people. So all the bills have to be, present in the legislature, and legislature should approve those bills. Then only government can spend the money. Okay, and it passes the money bill and the budget of the state. Every state, see how government makes the budget. We have seen central government will make the budget for the whole country. The state government will make the budget for the state. So that budget of the state government has to be approved or passed by the state legislature. Okay, the budget of the state government has to be approved by the state legislature. Then it participates in the amendment process of the constitution. See, if constitution is amended, if it is a rigid method, okay, we know to amend the constitution, we have three methods. What are the three methods? What are three methods of amending the constitution? We have rigid method, flexible method, then we have quasi-rigid and quasi-flexible method. So when it is flexible method, it is only the parliament which is making amendment to the constitution. Only parliament. If agar parliament mein wo amendment pass ho gaya, then the constitution can be changed. It is flexible. If it is rigid method, the legislature of all the states should participate in the amendment process. Okay, the legislature of all the states should participate in the amendment process. And quasi-rigid, quasi-flexible method, under this method, you know, central government, that is central legislature, and participation of few states is sufficient. Okay, participation of few states is sufficient. So, under rigid method, the state legislature will participate in the amendment of the constitution, the process of amendment of the constitution. Then, the members of legislatures, they are the part of electoral college. If you remember, we have discussed electoral college. What is electoral college? It is a body of people who elects the president. So, the members of the state legislative assemblies of all the states, they participate in the election of the president. They participate in the election of the president. So, they elect the president. They also elect the speaker and deputy speaker of state assembly from among themselves. From among themselves, they'll elect one person as the speaker and one person as their deputy speaker. Okay. I hope I'm clear with the state legislative assembly. So this members of state legislative assembly, we know them as MLAs. Okay, we know them as MLAs. So the new words which you have learned today, the new term you have learned today is quorum. Remember, what is quorum? Quorum is the minimum number of members required to conduct a meeting. So the quorum for the legislature, be it central or the state legislature, it is fixed as 1/10 of the total strength. 1/10 of the total strength, that is total membership. Okay. With this, we have completed your state legislature. Let us move to the next. Write a note on Telangana movement in 1969. Why Telangana movement was started in 1969. So, after the after Hyderabad state became the part of Indian Union in 1953 and 1948. Okay, in 1948, Hyderabad state, that is Nizam state, it became the part of Indian Union. It became the part of Indian Union in 1948. Okay, 1948. In 1953, okay, Andhra got separated. Andhra got separated from Madras presidency. Okay, it got separated from Madras. So now two different states, see, Hyderabad state and Andhra state. These two states, they had Telugu speaking people in both the regions. In Hyderabad state and in Andhra state, we had Telugu speaking people. And Hyderabad was well developed. Hyderabad was well developed. Andhra was newly formed, so it was not developed. So the leaders of Andhra region, they felt that as we have Telugu speaking people in both the regions, why not merge this both these regions and form a bigger state, a large state? Okay. So initially, the leaders of Hyderabad state, they did not accept that idea of merging. But later, after gentlemen's agreement, both Hyderabad state and Andhra state were merged and Andhra Pradesh was formed. Okay. And Andhra Pradesh was formed after the assurances given in the gentlemen's agreement. Okay. So both the states, Hyderabad and Andhra, were merged and Andhra Pradesh was formed in 1956, 1st November 1956. It was only because of the assurance given in the gentlemen's agreement. Okay. After the formation of Andhra Pradesh, the successive governments, they violated the gentlemen's agreement. Gentlemen's agreement was violated. So what was in gentleman agreement? The first point was, if chief minister is from one region, deputy chief minister will be from the other region. So after the formation of Andhra Pradesh, the chief minister was from Andhra region. So the deputy chief minister should be from Telangana, but they did not appoint deputy chief minister. So like this, they violated the gentleman's agreement, and in particularly Mulki rules. In gentleman's agreement, they said that if a person is staying in a Telangana region for 15 years continuously, for 15 years, if he is staying in the current Telangana region, then he will be eligible for the education and employment opportunities. But as the Andhra state was formed, Andhra Pradesh was formed, after the formation of Andhra Pradesh, what they did, they reduced this Mulki rule to 4 years. Okay, instead of 15 years, they made it as 4 years. So with this, what happened? Many people of Andhra region got eligible for government jobs and educational opportunities. So it was reported that nearly 25,000 government jobs were given or occupied by the people from Andhra region. Okay, migrants from the Andhra region in Telangana region. They are from Andhra. They are staying in Telangana. The condition was they should stay in Telangana for 15 years. But they reduced it to 4 years. So 25,000 government jobs, okay, they were occupied by the people from Andhra. Okay, so violation of this Mulki rule, it increased dissatisfaction among the students and the employees. Okay, naturally, this is natural. The rights of the people of Telangana were taken by the Andhra people. So people of Telangana region, they were dissatisfied. Okay, it increased dissatisfaction among the students and the employees. And with this background, the movement was started for separate Telangana in 1969. This is the reason why the Telangana movement was started in 1969. a student from Osmania University. He sat on hunger strike. He went on hunger strike for separation of Telangana from Andhra in 1969. That is why we say that students are the backbone of Telangana agitation. Okay, so I hope this Telangana movement is clear to you, why this started. Let us see. Now, in 1969 agitation, I told you, it was started by a student in Khammam district. He was from Osmania University. He undertook fast unto death. Okay. Later, this news spread all over the region and people from all the sections of society joined it. Many people, they sacrificed their life for the sake of the movement. And thousands of people were arrested. Okay. However, due to the political reasons, okay, we could not achieve the goal of separate Telangana and the movement came to an end. Due to political reasons, this Telangana movement was stopped. Many people, thousands of people got arrested during this Telangana agitation, and many people, they sacrificed their life. Okay, this is your Telangana movement. 10 simple sentences. If you are writing, you will get full marks. Okay, take care of the spellings. Just understand what is the question. If you are able to understand the question, then you can present your answer. The next question is, write about Telangana Regional Coordination Committee. Now, this is again one of the, assurance given in the Gentleman's Agreement, TRCC. It is Telangana Regional Coordination Committee. Okay, so in Gentleman's Agreement, it was said that Telangana Regional Committee shall be established. Okay, Telangana Regional Committee shall be established, and this Telangana Regional Committee will look into the development of only Telangana region. Okay, because it was, why the Telangana leaders were not ready for merging. They felt that if both states, Telangana and Andhra, are merged, then the Telangana region, as it is quite well developed by the Nizam, will get neglected. The focus will be on development of Andhra region. So they assured that they will not neglect Telangana region. For that, they will appoint Telangana Regional Coordination Committee. Okay, so it was established. Okay, and the committee advice was to be accepted by the government and the state legislature. They also said that we are appointing this, we are establishing this committee. Whatever advice the committee gives, the government and the state legislature should accept it. With this intention, Telangana Regional Coordination Committee was established as one of the provisions of Gentleman's Agreement. Okay, so this Telangana Regional Coordination Committee was given the power to deal with development and economic planning of Telangana region. Okay, Telangana Regional Coordination Committee will look into the development and economic planning of Telangana region. Then it will also look into the functioning of the local self-government in Telangana region, public health, sanitation, hospitals, primary and secondary education. Okay, then regulations of admissions to the educational institutions in Telangana region, sale of agricultural land, then cottage and small scale industries. In all these matters, In all these matters, Telangana Regional Coordination Committee will take the decisions. Okay, in case of Telangana region, only in the Telangana region, Telangana Regional Committee will deal in all these matters. Okay. Then what happened? Why Telangana Regional Coordination Committee failed? What are the reasons for the failure of Telangana Regional Coordination Committee? So these committees were not given autonomous status. Okay, they said that they'll give them the powers, but they did not give them the powers. Okay, theoretically their powers were given. Okay, they were given power to supervise, but not in practice. Practically, they were not functioning. Okay, see, to function, they required a office space. In some infrastructure is required that was not provided to them. They had no organizational infrastructure to carry out its functions. And in budget also, the allocation of budget was very less, very meager. Okay. And the successive governments lacked commitment to strengthen TRCC. That successive governments, they did not show any interest in the in strengthening the TRCC. Neither they showed any interest in the development of Telangana region. The focus of the government was development of Andhra region. Okay. Then this in 1973, this TRCC was abolished under 6-point formula given by Mrs. Indira Gandhi. Okay. So this TRCC was abolished in 1973. Now this 6-point formula was a political agreement between the union government and the state government. So with this reason, the TRCC could not function for the development of the Telangana region, and later it was completely abolished. See, they said they will establish, they established it, but they did not give them any power. Practically, it was not able to function because it did not have any infrastructure. It did not have budget also. And the government, they did not show any interest in the development of Telangana region. So with this, we have completed all the unexpected questions. Okay, so some questions which I have discussed in the last 2 days. Okay, those are the unexpected questions. Sometimes you may get any of these questions. So now we will start with your very short answers. We will have a revision of very short answers chapter wise. Okay, in each chapter you have got some very short answers. If you are thorough with only 2 marks questions, at least 2 marks questions, you have to write 15 2 marks questions. The weightage for 2 marks is 30 marks. So if you are thorough with 2 marks questions, then you will be able to score 30 marks, 30 out of 30. If you are writing perfectly, 30 out of 30 you will get. And students, please make sure that you are writing neatly, point-wise. Okay. So the examiner will be able to read the answer and allot you the marks. Okay. The first question is moderates. Yesterday we have discussed the phases of Indian national movement. Under that, we have discussed the first stage was moderates. So the moderate stage was from 1885 to 1905. 1885 to 1905. Now these moderates, they had complete faith in British. They always cooperated with them. They never opposed the British. They They never went against the Britishers. They cooperated with the Britishers. And what was the demand of these moderates? They demanded reforms, changes, and more representation to Indians in the administration. Okay, that was the demand of the moderates. Dada Bhai Naroji, Gopal Krishna Gokhale were some of the important leaders of this period. As many reforms were made, this moderate stage is also known as reforms era. Okay, simple 5 sentences. Okay, will give you 2 marks. If a question is asked on moderates, just write it down like this in 5 simple sentences. Who were the moderates? What was the period? Okay, what was their demand? The moderate stage, it was from 1885 to 1905. They had faith in Britishers, so they cooperated with them. They did not oppose them. Okay, their demand was reforms and representation to the Indians in the administration. As their demands were fulfilled, so it is also known as reforms era. Who were the important leaders? Dadabhai Naoroji, Gopal Krishna Gokhale. You can write names like this. Okay, it's a very simple. Students, please focus more on 2 marks questions that, you can score full marks. Okay, and when you are attempting the paper, when you are writing the paper, try to write 2 marks answers first. Okay, because sometimes it happens that when you are learning, when you are writing LAQs or SAQs, you tend to forget and you get stuck. In that, you will waste some time. And as you waste the time, stress will mount that you have to write VSAQs also. And in stress, again, you forget the answers which you know. So try to attempt 2 marks questions first. If you are able to write 2 marks questions, then, half of the battle is won. You can score marks in 2 marks itself. You can, get 30 marks. So if you are writing few more questions, you will get pass. You will get through the exams. So focus more on 2 marks questions. And now I'm teaching all these 2 marks questions chapter wise. All the important questions from the each chapter I'm taking. So if you're learning 2 marks, you will get, you will be in a position to pass your exams. I'm not saying not only 2 marks. You should focus more and more on 2 marks. Then you should learn few LAQs and SAQs so that you can get passing marks. Now, second question is methods of extremist. So extremist, this is the second stage of our Indian national movement. This was from 1906 to 1919. So what was the method adapted by the extremist? This you have studied in your SAQ. So what was the method adapted by them? Boycott of British goods, boycott of government office, organizing Bandh and Hartal, organizing, religious festivals, encouraging local education. When you are boycotting the British goods, they focused on use of Swadeshi goods. Okay, if you are writing this, 2 marks. You will get 2 marks, full marks. Next question is Simon Commission. Now, this is another, stage of or protest movement during your Gandhian stage. Okay, so Simon Commission. What is Simon Commission? Simon Commission was appointed by British government. Okay, why it was appointed? It was appointed to review operations of Government of India Act 1919, how it is functioning. To review that, Simon Commission was appointed. After reviewing, they were asked to give some suggestions to improve it for the progress of the reforms. So the Simon Commission, it had 7 Englishmen. Okay. Sir John Simon was its chairman. Congress decided to boycott Simon Commission and they gave slogan, Simon go back. Congress, they decided to boycott the Simon Commission. So for that reason, they gave slogans like Simon go back. But what is the reason why they wanted to boycott it? Because it did not have any Indian member. Simon Commission, it did not have any Indian member. So Congress decided to boycott Simon Commission and it gave slogan, Simon go back. Okay, so that is the answer. Simple answer. If you want, you can write it. You can break the answer into points like British government appointed Simon Commission to review Government of India Act 1919 and suggest measures for the progress of the reforms. First point. Second point, you can start from here. The Simon Commission had 7 English men. Then third point, you can start. Sir John Simon was its chairman. Fourth point, you can start from here. The Congress decided to boycott Simon Commission and gave slogan, Simon go back, as it did not have or it was not having any Indian member. So in 4 points, 4 simple sentences, you can finish this answer. Next is civil disobedience movement. Civil disobedience movement. Who organized it and when it was organized? Remember that this movement was organized in 1930 to 1934. When it was organized? In 1930 to 1934. Who organized it? Who under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi? Okay. So Gandhiji, he started this civil disobedience movement in 1930 and it was from 1930 to 1934. So what did Gandhiji do? He organized Dandi March to break salt laws by making salt. See, he went to Dandi village, marching along with his followers. He went to Dandi village and there he made salt. So after making salt, he broke all the salt laws. So this is also known as salt satyagraha. Okay, this is also known as salt satyagraha. Hartals, hartals means strikes. Picketing. Picketing is damaging the shops selling the British goods. Then boycott, use of Swadeshi goods were organized throughout the country during this movement. Okay, that was civil disobedience movement. Next is Minto-Morley Reforms Act. Now, Government of India Act 1909, which was the first act made by the British government to satisfy the moderates. Okay, to satisfy moderates, British government, it made act, that is Government of India Act 1909. Okay, so this act is also known as, the other name for this act is Minto-Morley Reforms Act. Okay, it is also known as Minto-Morley Reforms Act 1909, Government of India Act 1909. This act is also known as Minto-Morley Reforms Act. Now, it was prepared by Lord Minto and Lord Morley. Lord Minto, he was the Viceroy of India and Lord Morley was the Secretary for the State of India. So, they prepared this act. That is why we call it as Minto-Morley Reforms Act. So through this act, the representation of Indians in the Legislative Council was increased. So this act increased the representation of Indians in the Legislative Council. It also introduced separate electorates for Muslims. Okay, and it brought about, significant changes in the legislative bodies in India. So many reforms were made. That is why we call it as a Reforms Act. Okay, many reforms, many changes were made in the legislative bodies through this act. That is why we call it as Reforms Act. Why we call it as Minto-Morley? Because it was prepared by Lord Minto and Lord Morley. So this is your Minto-Morley Reforms Act. And this is most repeated question. Next is Constituent Assembly. What is a Constituent Assembly? I told you, it is the body of people who prepares a constitution. Okay, so Indian Constitution was prepared by Constituent Assembly. Indian Constitution was prepared by Constituent Assembly, which was established in 1946. Why it was established? To prepare a constitution for India, a new constitution for India. So Dr. Rajendra Prasad, he was the president of the Constituent Assembly, and this Constituent Assembly had 389 members. Okay, and these 389 members were divided into different committees. The Constituent Assembly had 389 members. The important leaders were Jawaharlal Nehru, Sarojini Naidu, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. They were some of the important leaders or members of Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly, it took 2 years, 11 months and 18 days to complete the Constitution. To prepare the Constitution of India, it took 2 years, 11 months and 18 days. So this is your 2-mark answer for Constituent Assembly. Next is Drafting Committee. And just now I told you Constituent Assembly was divided into various committees. One such committee was Drafting Committee. What was the responsibility of Drafting Committee? It was the responsibility of Drafting Committee to draft the Constitution. To draft the Constitution. So this Drafting Committee, it was set up by Constituent Assembly on 29th August 1947. On 29th August 1947, Constituent Assembly, it set up Drafting Committee to draft the Constitution. Okay, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was its chairman. Okay, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was its chairman, and it had 6 other members like Syed Muhammad Sadullah, K.M. Munshi. Okay, you need not remember all the names, whatever you can remember. Okay, so you can also write it had 6 other members. If you are unable to remember the names, no problem, but you can mention, always you can mention that it had 6 other members. And the draft constitution, the draft of the constitution was prepared by the committee, and they submitted the draft to the Constituent Assembly on 4th November 1947. And the draft was published on 21st February 1948. Okay, so this is your drafting committee. The next question, the last question of this chapter is preamble. You know what is preamble? We have, you wrote as feature of the Constitution. Okay, so what is preamble? Preamble, it explains the aims and objectives of the Constitution. Okay, so the preamble of Indian Constitution, it declares that the Constitution was self-made, that is made by the people of India. How can you say that? Because the preamble, it starts with, we the people of India, like this it starts. So it shows that it is self-made, made by the people of India. That means the people of the country, they made the Constitution? No. It is the people who elected the Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly was the representation of the people. So it started with we the people of India. Okay. And the preamble, it ensures liberty, equality, fraternity, and justice to all its citizens. Okay. And it describes India as a sovereign. Sovereign means independent. Socialist, government will work for the welfare of the people. Secular, we don't have any official religion. Democratic, the people will elect the government. People will elect their representations. And republic, the head of the state, that is president, is elected. We don't follow hereditary system there. Okay. And the Constitution of India, it starts with preamble. It is the soul of the Constitution. If you are writing your answers like this in points, it will be easy for the examiner to check your answers. Okay, and 2 marks answers, if you are writing properly, correctly to the point, you will get 2 out of 2. They won't deduct marks here. Okay, if you are writing perfectly, so 2 out of 2 you can score there. So we have discussed, 8 questions from your first chapter. You will get 2 questions out of this 8 for sure. Okay, so it can be any question. So if you are thorough with 8 questions, 4 marks. Okay, with this, I conclude today's session. In tomorrow's class, we will discuss 2 marks questions from other chapters. Okay, thank you very much.